Hello students, today we are going to start Chapter 4 Atmosphere, Weather and Climate. The topic which we are going to discuss today is humidity and precipitation. The atmosphere contains moisture in forms of water vapor. Water vapor on condensation is a process changing water vapor into liquid. So water vapor that with the process of condensation provide us water in various forms. You know, sun is the source of energy. When sun's heat reaches to the earth's surface, reaches to the oceans and lake, the water gets evaporated. When the water gets evaporated, it evaporated and form water vapors. The actual amount of water that is presented at a air, means to the air at a point of time. The actual amount of water vapor that is present in the air at a point of time, that is humidity. Important thing, because topic is humidity. So actual amount of water vapor that is present in the air, okay, at a point of time, that is your humidity. Now, high temperature causes rapid evaporation. Due to high temperature, rapid evaporation occurs. That results in higher humidity. If the temperature is high, then rapid evaporation takes place, due to what? The humidity will also be high. Due to high humidity, warm air is having more capacity to hold the moisture. As compared to cool air, warm air is having more capacity to hold the moisture. Air becomes saturated. Okay, saturated means it reaches to the point where all the things are being soaked. Okay, holding up the moisture, that is the saturated. Air becomes saturated. When air becomes saturated, the rate of evaporation decreases, means reduced. Again, they are saying high temperature causes rapid evaporation. Okay, due to rapid evaporation, humidity is also high. Warm air holds the moisture in it, but cool air does not. So warm air is having more capacity to hold moisture as compared to the cool air. Air becomes saturated and it reduces the rate of evaporation. Because the rate of evaporation reduces, the weather becomes sticky and oppressive. So cold air cannot hold moisture. This we have already done. Water vapor rises and it cools and condenses. Condenses means changes into liquid, into tiny water droplets. Okay, what is happening here? The water vapor rises up, it cools down and condenses, changes into liquid, a tiny water droplets forming the clouds. Okay, the clouds are generally of three main types. The clouds are light, the clouds float. So there are three main types of clouds: cirrus, cumulus, and stratus. Cirrus is curl, white hair clouds. That is your cirrus. Cumulus, that is heap of cotton. It is like heap of cotton. Stratus. Stratus is a long, flat layers of cloud. It is long, flat layers of cloud. If cloud continues to absorb more and more moisture, then the clouds become saturated. This is the meaning of the word saturated. If the clouds begins to absorb more and more moisture, then the cloud becomes saturated. The water droplets in the clouds, it becomes bigger and bigger. Now the cloud is heavier. Now the cloud cannot float. No longer cloud cannot float. Why? Because the clouds continue to absorb more and more moisture. Okay, that is called saturation. The water droplets in the clouds, it becomes bigger and heavier. So now the clouds are no longer, they can float. They come down on the earth's surface in the form of precipitation. Okay, now when the cloud becomes heavier, it comes down on the earth in form of precipitation. Rain, snow, hail, sleet is rain that contains some kind of ice. Snowfall. Snowfall occurs in colder areas where a feather-like flakes fall on earth. A feather-like flakes fall on earth. Hail, it contains ice pellets. Pellets means when ice is being compressed. Okay, that is your hailstorm. When the water vapor, it cools rapidly, it rises up fast due to the conventional currents. About conventional currents, we'll read in this chapter only. So what is happening? Hail occurs due to ice pellets. Ice pellet means when the ice is being compressed. When water vapors cools very rapidly, it rises up due to fast conventional currents and they start falling down on earth. Sleet is a mixture of your rain and snow. Sleet is a mixture of your rain and snow. The most common form of precipitation you have seen, that is your rainfall. Rainfall is a form of precipitation that is in the liquid form. Okay, as a tiny water drops of various size fall on earth. It provides us fresh water that is very important for the survival of living beings. It is the main source of groundwater also. The rainfall is the main source of groundwater also. Now, the topic which we are going to start, that is the three types of rainfall. Conventional rainfall, relief rainfall, cyclonic rainfall. First, we are discussing about conventional rainfall. See, this is the heated surface of the earth. The earth's surface gets heated up and the warm air current rises up. Warm and moist air rises up to the higher level within the troposphere. So what happens when the earth's surface heated up? Warm and moist air rises up with the water vapors in the troposphere. Cool air from above comes down and takes its place. The process continues when the earth's surface is heated up, then again warm and moist air rises up in form of water vapors, and then again cool air comes down. This is a circular motion of ascending and descending of the air current. Circular motion of the ascending and descending of the air currents. The warm air cools on reaching the height. When the warm air it reaches to a height, it cools down and water vapor condenses. When warm air reaches up, it cools down and it changes it to a liquid form. The water vapor condenses and changes into a liquid form that comes down on earth as a way of rainfall. This is accompanied by thunder and lightning. This is known as your conventional rainfall. Now, the second rainfall is your relief rainfall. Relief rainfall is also called orographic rainfall. This orographic rainfall is caused by the effect of relief or orography of the land on the moisture laden winds. So generally, this your relief rainfall, it is also called orographic rainfall, is caused by the effect of the relief on the land of the moisture laden winds. So what is happening? Relief rainfall is caused by when a mountain or highland, this is a mountain or highland, it lies in the path of this moisture laden winds. This is windward side, from where the wind is coming, in which direction the wind is coming. The leeward side, in which direction, it is a point of reference from where the wind is going to the where wind is going. So relief rainfall is caused when a mountain or highland lies in the path of this moisture laden winds, the winds which contain moisture. The moist air strikes the higher relief of landform. This moisture laden wind, it strikes the mountain or the highland and brings rainfall. How it brings rainfall? The moisture laden winds which are coming, it strikes this highland, the air rises up, it cools down and bring rainfall. When the moisture laden winds are coming from the windward side, from wind is moving in this direction, then it rises up. When it hits the highland, it rises up and cools down in the form of rainfall. This side is known as your windward side. The side that is devoid of rainfall, that there is less rainfall or no rainfall, that is leeward side. Where there is less rainfall or no rainfall, that is your leeward side. So as you can see, this is your cloud. Okay, the moisture laden winds come and strikes this highland. The air rises up, it cools down and comes in form of rainfall, heavy rainfall. So when the wind moves in the leeward side, there is less rainfall or no rainfall. That is devoid of rainfall, that side. This was your relief rainfall or orographic rainfall. Now, the last is your cyclonic rainfall. When the warm air and cool air, it converges, that forms your cyclonic rainfall. Cyclones are very common in the tropical regions and temperate westerly belts. What happens? Wind converges towards the low pressure center where your warm air, it rises up because warm air is lighter, it rises up. Suppose this is your warm air, it rises up because it is lighter. It climbs over the warm air, it climbs over your cold air. This is your cold air. Okay, the cool air stays close to the surface, to the earth's surface, and warm air is lighter, it rises up and it climbs over the cold surface or cool air. The boundary between the warm air and the cool air, the warm air is lighter, the cool air is heavier. So boundary between the warm lighter air and cold heavier layer, means air, is known as front. The boundary between the warm lighter air and cold heavier air is called your front. As the warm moisture laden winds that rises up along the front, it cools, condenses, and it is in the form of rainfall. It comes down on the earth. Number of days it falls down on the earth until and unless your cyclone is weakened. The cyclones weakens, then only the rainfall becomes less and less. So what is happening here? The warm air that rises up and reaches to the clouds, okay, there it cools and condenses, comes down in the form of rainfall for number of days until and unless the cyclone weakens. Till then, the rainfall keeps on coming. So this was your chapter. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.